In 1987, Paul O'Neill became CEO of the aluminum giant ALCOA. Ever since its founder invented the process of smelting aluminum, ALCOA held the dominant position in the industry, but by the time ALCOA turned to O'Neill, it had become something of a dinosaur. Leaner, more tech-savvy companies hacked away at its market share and profits. At the press conference introducing him to Wall Street investors, O'Neill set out his goal for the company: to make it the safest company in America, period. He said not a word about strategy or profits, and when one perplexed investor asked about capital ratios, O'Neill replied that the questioner had not been listening. ALCOA, he reiterated, would be judged by whether it significantly lowered worker injuries. One portfolio manager immediately rushed out of the meeting and advised his 20 largest clients to sell ALCOA shares, as it was quite clear that the new CEO had absolutely no idea what he was doing. Now, this proved to be bad advice because over the course of O'Neill's tenure, from 1987 to 2000, the value of the company's shares multiplied 5 times and its market capitalization increased by $27 billion. And yes, its worker safety record improved dramatically. ALCOA's rate of worker injuries dropped to 1/20th of the national average, despite the fact that ALCOA's industrial processes involve working with molten metal at 1,500 degrees. O'Neill gave out his private phone number to every ALCOA worker and invited them to call at any time with complaints or suggestions. And when workers saw that their safety suggestions were taken seriously, they began to offer suggestions in other areas as well. One worker recommended placing all the machines for painting aluminum siding in the same area of each plant to facilitate switching between colors as customer preferences changed. The profits of that aluminium siding division doubled as a consequence. It turned out that this worker had been discussing this idea with his fellow workers for years, but he didn't mention it to management because he thought no one would pay him any attention. The response to the safety suggestions convinced him otherwise. Joseph's wisdom and discernment geared up Egypt for a devastating famine, the likes of which had never been known. To achieve the mobilization of an entire country requires a specific kind of wisdom. It's the skill to get people to give of their best, and the way you do that is by empowering them, by elevating them. It says in the Torah, Vayhi Hashem es Yosef, Vayhi ish matzliach. Now, the Hebrew word for successful in this verse is matzliach, but grammatically, the translation of successful should be mutzlach, not matzliach. Matzlich is the causative voice, meaning to cause to be successful. Joseph's greatest success was that he empowered others to be successful.